Welcome back to another explainer. Today, we're taking some truly fascinating ideas and breaking them down into a clear, structured study guide. We are exploring a super profound intersection, that exact boundary between artificial intelligence and eternal spirituality. As our world gets increasingly digital by the minute, we really have to stop and ask ourselves where the line is actually drawn between the technology we build and the human consciousness we experience.
Think about these three simple words for a second. Shree Ram. All across the globe, literally millions of people chant these words with just profound emotion, deep faith, and spiritual fire. But here is the wild question we're diving into with this explainer today. What happens when artificial intelligence hears it? Can a machine processing these words actually understand the devotion behind them, or is it merely crunching sound data without a soul? Ultimately, can code understand divinity?
All right, so here's our syllabus for today. We'll start with 1, defining the sacred words. Then move to 2, how machines process meaning. 3, Ramayana and the Dharma. 4, data versus devotion. And finally, 5, cultural impacts and future. Let's get into it. Starting right off with section 1, defining the sacred words. So to set our baseline, let's look at the word J. It's way more than just a simple greeting or some catchy slogan. It is this intensely energetic declaration of victory and courage. For thousands of years, warriors have actually shouted it before battle to summon strength, while saints have whispered it during deep meditation. It's not just text, it's an emotion and a literal vibration of righteousness. Then we have the word Shree, and this adds a totally different layer to the phrase. It represents divine respect and sacred energy. In Sanatan Dharma, the name itself is believed to carry actual spiritual power. It's not just about linguistic meaning, it carries real energetic weight. And honestly, this right here is where AI faces its very first roadblock, trying to understand sacred energy. And finally, Ram. We're not just talking about a historical king here. Ram represents the absolute ultimate ideals: truth, discipline, honor, compassion, and dharma. People chant this name with literal tears of surrender during their absolute hardest times. It's incredibly deep. Which brings us nicely to section 2, how machines process meaning. Okay, so what actually happens when a machine hears these sacred words? Well, it instantly kicks into pattern recognition mode. It rapidly studies billions of texts to identify the language and culture, then cross-references history to tell us exactly who Lord Ram was. And finally, it can beautifully summarize the concept of devotion. It knows the data inside and out flawlessly. But here is the absolute crucial point. AI has intelligence, sure, but it completely lacks consciousness. While a machine can perfectly imitate spiritual language, it completely lacks the capacity to actually experience it, right? It doesn't feel reverence. It can't close its eyes and feel the peace or the heavy surrender of devotion. It has all the information in the world, but zero actual experience. Let's look at a case study in section 3, Ramayana and the Dharma. To really grasp what the AI is missing, we have to look at the core concept of Dharma. According to ancient scriptures, Lord Ram was the literal embodiment of Dharma, demonstrating pure righteousness and moral duty. Even in profound pain, he chose truth. He remained incredibly calm in exile and stayed completely compassionate even in the middle of a brutal war. It's this massive reminder that power without morality destroys, but devotion purifies the heart. And as you'll see here, this brilliantly illustrates the huge divide we're talking about. An AI can read every single version of the Ramayana in a matter of seconds. It can compare historical translations and explain hidden symbolism way faster than any human ever could. But unlike a human, it cannot live through sacrifice. It can't experience inner moral struggles or make the agonizing choice to hold on to righteousness when in pain. AI processes the story without ever becoming truthful, simply because true spirituality requires conscious human experience. All right, let's head into our most important comparison and section 4, data versus devotion. Let's really break this down. When the chant Jai Shri Ram is spoken out loud, a computer literally just measures audio frequencies. To the machine, it's just sound waves on a graph. But a human being, we actively feel the spiritual vibration. Humans chant this phrase in deep pain, in overwhelming joy, and in desperate hope. The sound carries human energy, and that is just something a microphone simply cannot capture. Building on that exact idea, while the algorithm is busy calculating linguistic patterns, humans are actually experiencing faith. Think about that for a second. Even in our crazy modern age of supercomputers, the human heart still holds these profound mysteries that machines just cannot measure or calculate. Things like love, faith, compassion, devotion. These are born from deeply personal moments of suffering and joy. They are absolutely not mathematical equations. There's this powerful idea from the principles of the Bhagavad Gita that hits the nail on the head. Consciousness is eternal, not manufactured, not programmed. Honestly, this might just be the ultimate boundary that artificial intelligence can never cross. The mysteries of the human heart are eternal, and they are entirely distinct from written lines of code. Now for our final section, Section 5, Cultural Impacts and Future. Now, even though AI definitely can't experience devotion, it's actually acting as a pretty phenomenal cultural bridge. It's translating ancient scriptures globally at lightning speed and preserving these sacred texts forever in digital formats. Most importantly, just imagine someone feeling totally lost late at night, searching for some kind of meaning, and suddenly discovering these ancient teachings through a search algorithm. In that moment, AI is this incredible tool helping younger generations discover ancient wisdom. So the big takeaway here is that technology itself is absolutely not the enemy. It is a bridge toward knowledge, not consciousness itself. The real danger only pops up if we forget our own inner wisdom and somehow expect machines to do the feeling for us. Machines should assist humanity, not replace humanity's soul. We always have to remember that we are the ones walking the spiritual journey, not our computers. And that leads us to our conclusion, the ultimate question. Because this really is the true test of our time. As supercomputers get infinitely more powerful and completely integrated into our daily lives, the future depends entirely on us. Will we become more machine-like, just mechanically processing data without feeling? Or will we choose to become more spiritually awakened? The future doesn't depend on how smart the machines get. It depends entirely on whether we choose to remain conscious and hold on to our human search for truth. I want to leave you with this one final, really profound thought to chew on as you navigate our increasingly digital world. Machines may learn language, but only the soul can understand devotion. Thank you so much for joining me to explore this wild intersection of the soul and the silicon. Reflect on these core ideas, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.